Good morning. Happy Friday. Today is October the 6th. Thank you for joining us for this Friday's 343. Well, we'll talk about weekend review as well as cover winners and losers. Well, I'm starting with the losers. That's where we are. Let's start bad and then hopefully end on an up note. You know what I really like? I'd really like for this to be a little more interactive. So, love your feedback as to whether or not we go to back to sort of Facebook Live or Instagram Live, just because the question and answer, as I was doing research for today's broadcast, is a much more helpful tool to make sure that I'm giving you the information you want. That said, the sound bites for this last week in review, and I want to sort of touch on quarter in review. But this last week in review was definitely that of the ousting of McCarthy and more Senate talk. Bond yields just hitting those levels that we saw pre-2008 recession. So, topping up at 4.8% on the 10-year. That's not good. It's not good for equity investors. And that pressure on bonds is certainly, we've seen it this week, as well as oil prices fall off. So we've enjoyed an uptick in our oil holdings to our tactical portfolio over the last quarter. Yet we saw a sell-off there this week. So let's talk about the losers and who got ousted, and including McCarthy. Hershey's got ousted. That's right. When I look at winners and losers, let's start with losers, but I want to look at the quarter in review for losers. Hershey is the top of the list. We've got a bunch of stable, able companies that are at the top of the list, to include McDonald's and Lockheed Martin. So those are on watch. Hershey's did not make the cut because on the 2nd of October, it lost the almighty of statistics or metrics that we look for with respect to the fundamentals of a stock. And that's its positive trend, and it lost that. So not necessarily a fundamental qualification for staying within the portfolio, more of a technical qualification. When a stock violates its trend line, and it starts trending and selling and trading below its long-term average, that's the last of the Mohicans in terms of when you want to hold on to a stock. And right now, the whole theme is quality. All right. So switching from the negative to the positive, who are our winners for the quarter? Yes, Eli Lilly and our oil holdings are up at the top. In addition to that, we also have Caterpillar and ADP. That said, should mention that Lowe's was a violator. Lowe's, home building and housing starts has had a lot of pressure this year and this quarter. Lowe's also went into a negative trend this week, and so it will leave the Aristocrats portfolio, and we'll be substituting that position within the Aristocrats portfolio with Chubb Insurance. So Chubb is the largest property and casualty insurance company in the United States, maybe the world for that matter. And again, as an Aristocrat, they have a very long history of increasing their annual dividend yield. They do have a positive trend, and have not performed positively this year. So maybe now's the time. What's the good note we can leave on today? Well, I do have one other negative news piece to bring to you, which is our switching or our 6-year bucket. Our switcher bucket is now confirmed and half in cash. So half cash and bonds, and our equity portion has gone to sidelines. Okay, so equity portion of the switching model, or 6-year model, is in cash as we speak. Many of us had cash going into this, so that was okay. But what that signals is we got a confirmation last Friday that it was time to go to the sidelines. So it sort of also goes into last week's commentary, which is, well, if we know things are going to be weak and there's going to be weakness in the market and a sell-off in equities, why don't we go to the sidelines? We wait for the indication. So we got it. Yes, it was a little bit of a day late, $1 short. But that's okay because any further weakness from here, we will be mostly on the sidelines. And you know what? This is also an opportunity for those of you who have not taken a look at or know what should be in what's called your 10-year bucket or 10-year money. It's an opportunity to look to add to some holdings that have had a lot of weakness this week and this quarter. And one of those names I might whisper, maybe, just maybe it's Meta. Maybe it's Facebook, which is Meta. Maybe it's, do you say Meta? Do you say Meta? I say Meta. So maybe it's Meta, maybe it's Tesla. So those are a couple positions you could look at that sold off this week that would be very appropriate for your 10-year bucket, and happy to implement that as we've already done this week. So with that, I do want to solicit any feedback. Also, you need to raise your hands. We are doing some tech demos this week for those clients who are seeking a more user-friendly interface with respect to their Schwab accounts. And we hope you're interested. So let us know if that suits you. Hope you're liking the new format with 3 for 3 being sort of truncated. We're doing Let's Grow and separate certain blog posts, as well as some fun facts sprinkled throughout the week. So I hope you're enjoying those with a little bit of levity as we talk through negative markets this week. So any questions or feedback, we always welcome your comments via email, the blog, or at alphavest.com. Thank you so much for joining me for 3 for 3. I hope I have better news to report next week. With that, I'm sending you into the weekend and hoping that you have a perfect day.